Hello everyone, and welcome to my updated Mage Training Arena Guide. Okay, so there's been a lot of requests, not necessarily requests, but like updated things that people have been telling me in the comments, at least on my last Mage Training Arena Guide, as far as ways that I could upgrade the video and explain other methods and tactics and things that might concern you along the way. There was also some confusion, at least in the Alchemist Room, on how to exactly get the points once you have actually collected and alched the items that you've done to earn those points. So on top of that, there's also been some changes to the minigame. One example as such for the Telekinetic Room, you can now move your character along with the statue, which is absolutely amazing. That's going to save you a lot of time and make the Telekinetic Room a little bit easier and not something you have to worry about as much, which is really cool. So today I hope to alleviate some of the troubles that the last guide kind of had and update you all so that by the end of this, you all will be able to do Mage Training Arena quickly and as smoothly as possible. Get your bonus to Peaches or Infinity, whatever you need. I'm going to have to do Infinity Boots by Iron Man, so I'm going to be joining you all with this. Don't worry. I'll be joining on the pain, unfortunately. So other than that, let's go ahead and dive right into this, and hopefully by the end of this you'll know exactly how to do it. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, of course, you got to get here, of course. So Mage Training Arena is located just north of the Duel Arena. So to get here, I would just recommend using a Ring of Dueling, teleporting to the Duel Arena, first option, and just walk a bit northeast. I'd say that's probably the easiest way and the fastest way to get here. Yeah, just make your way around kind of where the people are usually staking in this building, and it's right north of it. And you'll kind of see this door, and you can get in. Now, as soon as you get in here, you're going to see this guy. His name is the Entrance Guardian. You're going to want to talk to him, and I already have one, but you're basically going to ask him for a progress hat. Now, if you don't talk to him and you don't get a progress hat, you're not going to be able to enter any of the 4 portals, which you need to do and complete before you can get your Infinity, bonus to Peaches, whatever you need to do along the way. So go ahead and start by talking to him and getting your progress hat, and then we can go ahead and get started with the 4 rooms, and I'll try and break those down for you, and so you can understand them best as possible. Okay guys, so now before I go any further, I kind of do want to discuss kind of like the minimum bay requirements you need to be able to access the Mage Training Arena. First of all, you have to have at the minimum 7 magic. That's basically what you need to get in here and use one of the lowest spells you're going to use. However, to be able to interact and actually use every single one of these rooms and gain points from them, I would recommend to have at the very minimum 33 magic. The higher magic level you have, it's going to be better for you, simply because, I mean, for obvious reasons, like the Alchemist Room, you can use high-level alchemy instead of low-level alchemy. There's just some minor things like that where you can get some more XP in some areas and just help you to be more efficient in other areas. So I would have at least 33 magic, but just keep in mind the higher magic you have, the better off you're going to be here. However, I'm assuming if you're going to be here and you're getting like bonus to Peaches or something for diaries, whatever you may be doing, I'm assuming you're going to have a pretty high magic level, at least 55 for alchemy. Alright guys, so now that you know the basics of the Mage Training Arena, we can go ahead and start diving and dissecting each one of these 4 rooms that you're going to be going into. And basically I'm just going to be discussing what you're going to want, what you're going to need, and what's going to help you to make each room as easy as possible. Now the first room we're going to be talking about is the Telekinetic Room. This is going to be the one farthest south of the 4 portals that you're going to have. Now for Telekinetic Room, all you really want to have is a air staff and as many law runes as you can get. You're not going to be using that many, maybe like 7 to 10 per maze, but depending on how many points you need in the telekinetic category, you might just want to bring, all but one of your, keep your placeholder in your bank, but bring all the law runes you can. And another thing that I would recommend, especially now that you can run with the statues, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, this will make sense in a minute, but I would, if you can, bring stamina potions or energy potions because you are going to be running and you want to try and being able to run all the time, of course, just to make this more efficient and speed it up a little bit. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and dive in the Telekinetic Room. Once again, I don't have staminas and super energies right now just because this is for experimental purposes. I'm just showing you how to do it. But when you do this and you're going to be here for a prolonged period of time, I would definitely bring energy potions or stamina potions to help you out with this. So go ahead and get started. Let's go in the Telekinetic Room. Now once you get in here, you're going to see a Telekinetic Guardian. If you talk to him, you can basically get started with it, and he's gonna kind of basically explain to you how to do it. But basically, what you're gonna want to do is, when you go into the Telekinetic Room, there's going to be a maze. Now, if you walk up to it, you're gonna see within the maze somewhere a Maze Guardian. Go ahead and hit Observe on him, and it's gonna zoom your screen kind of out of like a ceiling view, and you can kind of see what's going on here. Now at this point, you have one objective. It's really simple. This Maze Guardian, your objective is to get that Maze Guardian to this gray square, or kind of the end of this specific maze. So to do that, you basically are going to be making use of the Telekinetic Grab spell. Now this is why I recommended you have 33 magic at the very minimum, because this is the spell that we're going to be using for the Telekinetic Room. All the other rooms don't really require as high requirements, but obviously, like I said, the higher your magic, the better. So basically what you're going to want to do is, obviously you can notice this maze is in a square-like pattern. Obviously there's walls and stuff within the maze. However, each one of these mazes is going to be a square, and on each side of the square, you have your cardinal directions, obviously, south, north, west, and east. Now, whichever of those sides you're going to be standing on, even if you're standing at the very end of this, like, the very left of the wall or the very right of the wall, say if I was standing here and I cast Telekinetic Grab on him, or I could stand all the way up here and cast Telekinetic Grab on him, it's still going to move him to the south because I'm standing on the southern wall. So it really doesn't matter where you can stay, and now that you can move with the Guardian, it's going to make it a lot easier. So really, I don't mean to ramble right now. I'm just kind of getting you the basics of how to do this. So we're basically essentially going to want to move him to this gray checkpoint. Now, a lot of you might just be able to visualize this. A lot of these mazes really aren't hard, so basically I'm just going to show you how to do this one. I'm going to cast Telekinetic Grab on this guy. Since I'm on the east wall, it's going to move him east like this. Now, used to, you couldn't move with the Guardian moving, but now you can. Normally, you had to wait till he got to the very end of his movement there, and then you had to like readjust, go to the next wall. But now you can readjust and move your character while he's moving. So I'm just going to keep doing this. Now I want to move him south this way. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to go to the west wall because I know I have to move him that way. As soon as you get it wrong to the next wall, you can kind of predict where your character is going to be, and you can just move him and cast the Telekinetic Grab even before you get to that wall, just basically to save some time. So now I'm going to move back to the south wall. I'm going to move him this way. Now, this is actually a really easy maze. I'm just moving him left, down, right, whatever I need to be. Now, like I said, some mazes are going to be more complicated than others. But a lot of them you're just going to be able to visualize and map out in your head, and you can just get it done really easily. This is kind of a mindless kind of task right now. As you can see, I only have to make one more movement. I have to move him one more time to the west. So I'm going to move on the west wall, move him up this way, and bingo. Now we just got to wait. Now, the reason why a lot of people don't like the Telekinetic Room, as you can see, I gained 2 Telekinetic Pizzazz points. You will gain 2 Telekinetic points per maze you solve. However, for every 5 mazes you solve, you will gain a bonus 8 points. So that way, it's more worth your time. If you do log out, it's going to reset the amount of mazes you've done. So I do recommend, if you are going to log out, at least try and get to a checkpoint and finish that 5th maze, just so you can end on a point bonus for when you come back. Now, the reason why the Telekinetic Room is really tedious among the others, I really don't like the Alchemist Room either, but this one can basically take a long time. However, a lot of that pain was alleviated when they made the update for you to be able to move with the statue. So that's essentially what you're going to do. Yeah, that's basically all there is to the mazes. I'm going to show you all in the next clip basically what they have on the wiki. I can provide the link in the description, but they basically have it to where they have red lines set up on each of the possible mazes that you can get in these rooms, and it's going to show you how to complete that if you can't visualize it easily, and it's going to show you how to complete that in the fewest amount of law runes and telekinetic grabs as possible. Okay guys, welcome back. So these are the 9 possible mazes, actually there's 10, that you can get from doing the Telekinetic Room. So I thought I'd provide these. I'm just getting this straight out of the RS Wiki. I had this in my last video, but I thought I'd throw it back in just so you could see it again. However, if you want to go look at all 10, actually I think there's 10, but you can go check the wiki just to be sure. I'm going to link this down in the description, so while you're doing the Telekinetic Room, you can refer to this and make Telekinetic Room as easy as possible. But that's essentially all you're doing. You're just getting the statue to the end of the maze, completing it, and that's really all there is to the Telekinetic Room. And now that you can move with the statue, it's going to make it a little bit easier. Alright guys, welcome back. So now that we're done with the Telekinetic Room, the next room that I'll be going over is the Alchemist Teleport Room. In this room, all you're going to really want to need is a Staff of Fire or any other staff that can provide unlimited fire runes, and a lot of nature runes. Depending on how many points you need, obviously, once again, you're going to be needing more and more nature runes, so I would just bring as much as you possibly have, leave a placeholder in your bank, and buy more or make more if you need more. So Like the telekinetic portal, I would always recommend that you have stamina potions with you or energy potions, just so you don't have to do any walking and you can run the entire time. It's really efficient with a lot of these rooms that you have stamina potions just so you can keep running. So Alchemist Room was kind of one of the ones that was most confusing in my last guide, so I'm going to do my best to provide closure to it and explain it better so that you all can understand it and it makes a little more sense. It's really not that complicated. I might have just made it seem more complicated in the last video, so this time I'm going to go over it really carefully, make sure you all understand it, and go over how the point process actually works. Okay guys, so in the alchemy room, basically you have to be using the high level alchemy or the low level alchemy spell to convert items in one or basically each of these 8 cupboards to gold coins. Those items are leather boots, adamant kite shields, adamant medium helmets, emeralds, and rune longswords. Now, the amount of coins that you get for each item is displayed in this little box up in this right-hand corner here. If I alched leather boots, I would get 1 coin, and if I alched a kite shield, I would get 30 coins. Now, obviously, you're going to want to try and get the highest amount of coins that you possibly can. Now, each of these cupboards are going to have a random item, and it's going to be one of these 5 items, but it's always going to alternate and randomize through each of these cupboards, which can become a little annoying, but that's basically what happens. So the points are also always cycling and changing as well. So your goal is to basically find the highest amount, the highest like coin value of the item. Like say right now it just cycled again. I would try and find leather boots and try and alch those as fast as I possibly can if I could find them. But if I can't and I find added kite shields 15 points, it's really not that bad. But your ultimate goal is to try and get as many coins as you possibly can. So that's basically how that works. Now I'm going to go over going through the cupboards here in a second, but I kind of want to explain to you first how to get points with these coins. Now, for every 100 coins that you deposit here, that is basically in this coin collector here, and that's to the north side of the room. For every 100 coins that you deposit through alching these items, that is equal to 1 pizzazz point. Now, another thing that I wanted to go over, you want to try, by the end of the alchemy session that you have, you want to try and deposit these coins in multiples of 100. This is because, say you have 765 alchemy points. 765 alchemy points. If you were to end your session and deposit the 765 points here, you're only going to get 7 points, and the other 65 points is going to basically be wasted. Especially if you get higher, like 995 points, you're only going to get 9, whereas you could have easily just gotten that 5 extra points to get that the 10 actual pizzazz points from the room. So essentially what you're going to want to do is get as many coins as you possibly can and try and get it as close to a 100 value as possible, and then deposit it. That way you have least coins wasted and you get the most points out of the room. So that way you're not wasting any time, and you're also making it as most efficient as possible. Now, one more thing that I did want to go over with this box up here with the alchemy, with it displaying all the items, you might have seen in the clip before that one of these items had a green arrow pointing to it. Now these might cycle here in a second and you can see it, but sometimes you'll see a green arrow pointed to one of these items. And basically what that means is when you alch that specific item, it's not going to use up a nature room. So depending on what item it is and how many coins you get for it, it might be worth your while to actually alch them, because you can save a lot of nature runes through doing that. However, if it's pointing to like the Addy Helm in this example, and I would only be getting 1 point for it, it probably wouldn't be worth your time, especially if you could find your emeralds. You want to use your nature runes and get the most coins per possible. But if you do see an item that has 15 or 30 points and you can save a nature rune, it might be worth your time to do it, and it always basically saves you money, and you're still getting coins in the process, so that's always nice. And here we go. So here you can see the leather boots that are being pointed to. That means when I alch them, it's basically not going to use a nature rune. However, it's not going to be really worth my time since it's only 1 point, and there's the leather boots right there. So you're basically going to want to sip stamina potion and go through these as fast as possible. Now, as you can see, I found the Addy kite shields, so I'm going to alch these as fast as possible. And I'm getting 30 coins for each of these. Now, it'd be nice if you could actually just take in your own money and just pause it and get these alchemy points, but unfortunately, that's not how it works. You actually have to alch and get the coins yourself. So that's basically all there is to it, guys. Each of these 8 cupboards, it's going to be randomized one of these 5 items Try and find the highest valued item that you can, get the most amount of coins that you can, while having stamina, super energy replenished so you don't have to walk through any of this. Mainly because it's cycling so often, you're going to want to get as many points as you can. I think it cycles every like 30 seconds or so, so keep in mind, if you find the item that is worth 30 coins or 15 coins, get as many as you can, out as many as you can. And once again, I want to stress this. When you're finished with doing your alchemy session, if you have to log off or go do something, you have to get off RuneScape, make sure that you're going to do it in those multiples of 100. Like right now I have 150 points. That's a waste of 2 points, basically, if I was to deposit it right now. If I could just get an extra 50 points, I could then coins, I could then deposit it and get my 2 pizzazz points and basically save some time and not waste any of my time of the nature runes that I alched. So that's basically all there is to the alchemy room, guys. If there's any questions here, I know this is a confusing room, leave them down in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them as best as possible. But I think I covered everything and I think we should be good at this point. So let's continue on. Alright guys, welcome back. Almost done, okay? We have probably one of the most annoying rooms done now. So now moving on, I'm going to be going into the graveyard room. Now for the graveyard room, there's a very specific staff that I would recommend you use, and that is the mud battle staff. Unlike the other rooms, like for telekinetic, you only need the air staff, and for the alchemy room, you really just want a fire staff or any variant of the fire staff. However, the mud battle staff is very unique in that it implies unlimited water and earth runes. Now, this is very useful for those of you who don't know. It's very useful and it can save you some time and money. Well, not really time, mainly just money, but and an inventory slot. That way, all you have to worry about, along with the staff, you just need to bring nature runes. Essentially, what we're going to be doing in this room is casting the spell Bones to Bananas, or those of you that have unlocked it can also use Bones to Peaches. They will heal a little bit more if you don't want to bring your own food. Now, this room is unlike any of the others because you will be getting damaged a very, very slight amount, but it will kind of, increase over time, and it's going to get to the point where you have to eat to stay alive. So you have one of two options, or actually, there's actually a third option. I'll discuss that in a second. You can either eat the food that you're alching, either the bananas or the peaches. However, the peaches do heal 8 hit points, where the bananas only heal 2. So if you do have the Bones to Peaches, I would highly recommend using that. Because you have to use 2 nature runes instead of 1. However, it's very worth your time because you basically don't have to bank. You can basically just stay there, get a lot more hit points for your peaches, and you can just get all the graveyard points done in one session. You don't really have to worry about stamina as much in this room because you're basically standing in one spot. You're going to be collecting a pile of bones. You're going to be alching those, and then you're going to be depositing them. And I'm going to go kind of explain how those bones work and how they operate. But as far as requirements, you're basically just going to be, you have at least bananas to cast this, which is, let's see, that is 15 magic. And if you can't have access to a mud battle staff, if you're an Iron Man that hasn't unlocked it, or if you simply can't afford one, then bring a earth staff or a water staff. That way you don't have to bring every single one of the runes. You're saving a little bit of money. So now that you have everything you need, let's go ahead and dive into. Okay guys, welcome to the graveyard room. So now that you're here, go ahead and move to the west a little bit, and you're going to see this pile of bones, and you're also going to see this food chute right here. Now I recommend going to the west because I'm pretty sure this is the closest bone pile to the food chute, just to save you a little bit of time there. So essentially what you're going to be doing, if you're kind of seeing this in the bottom right hand corner, basically this number next to this bone, it basically represents this bone is 1 point, this bone is 2 point, this bone is 3 point, and this bone is 4 points. However, completely ignore that. I'm going to give you a method that you can basically you don't have to think at all. You can just do this easily and you don't really have to think about it. See this basically see this pile of bones, right? Go over to it and pick up 10 bones from that pile. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once you have those 10 bones, go ahead and cast your Bones Banana spell. You'll notice that we have 18 bones, right? Well, we only have to, or not bones, I'm sorry, bananas or peaches, depending on what you're casting. So you only need 16 bananas or peaches to be deposited into the food chute to get 1 graveyard point. So what you're going to want to do before you deposit those 16 pieces of food, because we have 18, go ahead and eat those extra 2. Because when we deposit into the food chute, it's going to deposit every single one of the bananas. However, if we go ahead and eat those 2 before we deposit all the bananas, you're basically restoring the amount of health that you lost in the time that you picked those bones. So now that we have those 16, go ahead and deposit the bananas into the food chute, and you'll notice that we got a graveyard point and a reward. It's going to give you some magic XP, and it's also going to give you a random reward, just a rune or something like that. Now, once you did the 10 bones and cast the spell, deposit it, this time, since the bones are going to give you increasingly more points and it's going to cycle through, after we collect the 10 bones, you're now going to collect 6 bones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. Pretty easy, right? So this time, just do it again. It's going to give you a lot more bones this time. As you can see, we now have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 bones. We only need 16 to get 1 point, right? So at this point, you can go ahead and eat 4 of those extra surplus bananas. It's going to give you the health that you lost. And now at this point, just basically get rid of the extra 16, and you'll get another point. And literally repeat the process. Go back to 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cast the spell. Eat extra 2 bananas. There we go. And there you go. Deposit this time. Now, obviously, I'm going to be losing more health right now because I'm explaining it to you. However, once you get in a rhythm and you just know to yourself, collect 10 bones, cast the spell, deposit, eat the bananas, then deposit. Collect 6 bones, cast the spell, eat the 4 extra, deposit the 16. Basically, all you need to know is that 16 bones equals 1 point. If you have more than 16 pieces of food, eat the extra, then deposit the 16 pieces of food. And that's all there is to it. It's really easy, and honestly, this is so mindless. It's really easy room, and especially after doing the Alchemy Room, it is great. However, if you don't feel like doing this and you want to do it, basically there's alternate ways of healing. You can obviously bring your own food. You'll notice that I had sharks coming in here. However, if you bring your own food, most likely if you're going to be here for a prolonged period of time, you're going to have to bank, get more food, and it's basically going to be just a little bit harder in my opinion. So I'm going to show you one more way of healing. If you're running low on health and you don't feel like doing it the way I showed you, there is one more way that you can do it. If you're an Iron Man, you can't bring your own food, whatever, I'll show you how to do it. Okay guys, perfect example right now. So you see I'm 25 health, I'm really low on health right now. If you don't want to bring your own food and you don't want to eat the food that you're actually making inside the arena, you can come over to the actual duel arena itself and you can talk to any one of these surgeons. I'm just going to use Surgeon Tiffany, I think that's how you say it. Just right click, heal that, and do that a couple of times. Now I'm at 46, now I'm at 67, and basically continue this until you're full health. You can actually just repeat this process, and it's a completely free method. If you don't want to bring your own food, it's a very viable option. If you don't want to eat your own food as well, you can basically get your hit points back for completely free and head back in. So guys, that's the graveyard room completed. Honestly, it's a pretty simple process, and it's just repeating the same cycle in your head. So I think it's probably one of the easiest rooms. However, it's not the easiest, and I'm about to show you why. We're going to head in the enchantment room, and then that'll be all you need to know for the Mage Shooting Arena. Let's go do it. Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so now we have 3 out of the 4 rooms completed, and now it's saved basically the easiest and best for last, and that is the Enchanter's Portal. Now the reason this room is so easy is because it's probably one of the mindless tasks that you're going to have to do. A lot of people make the enchanting room a lot more complicated than you have to be, simply because they don't know how to do it the fastest. Basically, the method that we're going to be doing, this is the fastest method. There are 6 dragon stones that are scattered throughout the room, and you're basically going to collect those and use the highest enchant spell that you have. All of these spells, by the way, throughout the entire Mage Shooting Arena, they're going to be coming from the normal spellbook. You don't have to use any of the other spellbooks for this. So basically, what you're going to want to have is Cosmic Runes, obviously, for the enchant spells. And you're going to be using the highest level enchant spell that you possibly can. So if you have 87 magic for the Onyx Jewelry enchant, bring it. And if you can use the Onyx Jewelry enchant, bring a Lava Battle Staff. That's going to give you unlimited Earth and Fire runes. And then that way, all you have to bring is 1 Cosmic Rune per spell. So just bring a lot of Cosmic Runes and you'll be completely fine. However, I understand a lot of you may not have 87 magic, so that's perfectly fine. If you can literally use any enchant that you want. However, the higher level the enchant, the more points that you get. For example, if we go to the level 1 Sapphire enchant that requires 7 magic, where is it? There it is. You're only going to get 2 points every Dragonstone, whereas if you use the Onyx enchant, you're going to get 12 points. So you can imagine that difference, and it can become a lot faster. Now, with 3 of these 4 rooms, you're going to be doing running, right? This is the 3rd room that is going to require running. So, like, once again, I would require you to bring stamina potions and super energy potions just to help you out. Obviously, that's optional. However, I would recommend it just so that you can continue running and get the most amount of points per hour, depending on how long you got to be here. So now that we have everything we need, let's go ahead and dive in, and I can show you basically what to do. So now that we're in here, you're going to immediately see these dragon stones spread throughout the room. So we're simply going to run around and collect these, and as you run, you can go ahead and enchant them if you want. As you go to the next ones, it's going to make this little white orb in your inventory. So people might have already sometimes you will be competing for worlds, because people are aware of this method, so you might be competing sometimes, which depending on the time of day you do this can really affect the amount of points that you get per hour. So if you know a right time to be doing this where a lot of people aren't going to be here, go ahead and make use of that. So now that we've gotten the 6 orbs, we know that there's only 6 orbs per world. As soon as you finish alcheming that last dragon stone, go ahead and hop to the next world. So I'm on OS Buddy right now. I have that. If you can't do that, you can use the normal quick hop system. However, I think it's a lot easier just to basically quick hop through the OS Buddy. So one thing I forgot to just tell you, you'll notice that if I quick hop inside the Enchanters Room, it's going to take me completely at the beginning of the Mage Arena, which might take a little bit more time. So what I recommend you do, as soon as you finish alcheming all the dragon stones on a specific world, leave the portal, then hop. That way, I'm going to hop to another world right now. It's going to keep me at the portals instead of putting me all the way south at the start of the room, and it's going to save you a little bit more time. So try and end your lap at the end of the portal. That way you can just go back in there and basically just keep hopping and doing the thing. So guys, that's basically all there is to the enchantment room. You're literally just picking up dragon stones using the highest level enchant spell that you can on those dragon stones. There's 6 of them, and once you've done that, you basically just leave the portal, hop, repeat until you have all the enchantment points you need. So that is all of the portals, guys, done. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you how to claim your rewards once you're done. It's probably one of the most specific and important parts that you want to know, obviously, if you're here. So let's go over on how to claim the rewards. Alright guys, now right at the entrance of the Mage Training Arena, over to your west or east, you're going to see these staircases. Go ahead and climb up those and head to the north side of this room. You're going to see the Rewards Guardian. Go ahead and trade with him, and this is going to show you all the rewards that you can get. Now, I'm assuming a lot of you are going to be watching this guide for the Bones to Peaches aspect of it, because I had to do this too for the diaries to get my Explorer's Ring 3. So if you got all the points you need, just hit buy there. It's going to give you all the thing you need. However, I know there's going to be some Iron Men in here, or just maybe people who want to do self-sufficiently get their infinity. This is where you get all your rewards, and that's basically all there is to it, guys. This is where you get all your rewards, and that's basically all there is to it. So yeah, that's going to be the end of my guide. So guys, if you did enjoy this guide, if it did help you out, please leave me a like below. And if you want to subscribe to me so you can be notified when I make a new video, go ahead and feel free to do that as well. Now, as I like to end all of my guide videos, if there's another guide you would like for me to make, please leave it as a suggestion for me down below. I love making guides for you guys, and I think I could make a good money-making and Zulrah guide, so that's already on my plan in the future. But once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you got some more use out of it than the last one. I hope this updated version kind of helped you out more. Once again, feel free to ask me any question you have on this. If there's any confusion whatsoever, if this guide didn't cover over it good enough, I hope it did. But if it didn't, feel free to ask me, and I will hop on that and answer it immediately. So anyways, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Iron Man progress very soon. I'll see you all next time, and take care. Thanks for watching, guys.